Allison Holker's teenage daughter, Weslie Renae, is speaking out about her irreplaceable relationship with late stepdad Stephen Twitch, boss, and addressing criticisms of her family, from why she doesn't use his surname to why her mom requested his family sign funeral NDAs. More than 2 years after Boss died by suicide in 2022, at age 40, online criticisms of Holker, 36, and what she chooses to share about her late husband's life and struggles have ramped up as the mom of 3 prepares to release her upcoming memoir. This Far, My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light in February. In response, Holker's 16-year-old daughter decided to address the claims leveled against her family in a live video on Instagram on Friday, January 10th. Weslie, whom Holker welcomed prior to her relationship with Boss, began the video about the late dancer by calling the hate she and her mom are experiencing baseless and hurtful to her siblings, Holker and Boss's children, Maddox Laurel and Zaya, 5.
Okay, basically, I don't know like how many people are gonna join, but I was gonna talk about things and like I'll get the backlash for it, but I just feel like things needs to be addressed, and I'd rather it come from me to defend my family than like anybody else, just because I feel like it's important. But like my stepdad's been gone for 2 years and I'm still getting hate comments and a lot of articles are coming out, and I just don't it's just complicated and for no reason, because this is like not just a social media gig, like this is literally my life. And I don't know, I'm so sick of getting hate comments and like seeing my mom get hate for literally losing the person that she loves. And like I have siblings, like this is their dad, this is who they're gonna grow up, and like they're gonna see all this on social media. That's so hurtful. So I just felt like I'll take it upon myself to like clear things up, because that's just how I am. Like I would rather things be handled than for it to just leave the internet in a spiral. Like it's so annoying to me. But basically I get that my relationship with Steven seems complicated, but this man raised me my entire life, since I was 1. And through that, like I have a biological dad, I have a relationship with him, but Steven was my person. Steven was the person that like raised me. And when I address him as Steven, I know that like y'all know him as Twitch, but like that was my dad. Like I'm not gonna address him by his stage name. But he literally raised me. And I don't like, it's hurtful to see people like not diminish who he was, but like there's so many new stories, and it's like through all the family stuff and just like it's just so much more complicated, and I don't even know how to explain it well, and I hope that I'm like gonna address everything perfectly, but it's like this is my dad. This is not like a joke to me. And like for 13 years my parents were together, and for 13 years he was the person I would go to about everything. Like he's the person I would cry to. He's the person like he'd wake me up every morning, we'd get breakfast. He's the person that I would see when he came home from work. We lived in the same 4 walls. And now I'm getting hate for him leaving, and I don't get it. It's hurtful. And I guess I'm like trying to describe a relationship, because I see people saying that like it's not my place because I'm not his biological daughter, but like he never made me feel like anything besides his daughter. And I mean, that I just think it speaks for who he was, and nobody's sitting up here trying to bash him. Like he was a good person. And also recently I've been getting a lot of comments about how I changed my Instagram username, and I never had access to my social media. He was a pretty strict parent, but like a couple months before I started getting access to it, but I was never adopted. I never had the last name Boss, and I know my siblings do, but I don't. And my last name, my legal last name, isn't even what is my handle. It's just my middle name, because I don't go by Boss or my last name. So, and I never have, but that was just we were addressed as the Boss family, that's what it was, and that, like, I had that Instagram handle since I was a child, like a toddler, and that's just not me. And so, yeah, I can get the hate for changing it, but, like, for instance, like, my mom never had hers as boss. My mom's always been addressed as Allison Holker. Besides when they were, like, together, it'd be, like, the Mr. and Mrs. Boss. But they had completely separate, like, careers, and they were addressed completely, like, separately. But, yeah, when we were all together, like, I had siblings. We were the Boss family. Like, that's the name that my siblings are going to have, and that's what they're going to carry on. But even Steven's family, like, his parents, they don't have the last name Boss. But, basically, I don't know, I'm trying to, like, get all my ideas together about what's, like, appropriate to say and, like, what's not gonna get me in trouble, because, you know, like, I'm just trying to address things, but, like, I'm still trying to be respectful to everybody, and I'm just so over, like, for instance, his family. Like, everyone's headlining right now, like, and these are big players into my life. This is big players into my siblings' life, but and my mom's life, and literally, like, these are all people that I've grown up with, and to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like, my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point, and I don't know if it's still like that. Like, me and my mom haven't talked about it, but since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like, we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait, I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's the one making that effort. I don't make the effort, but that's just how I am. I feel disrespected by them, so I'm not going to talk to them. There were points where, like, the brothers would reach out to me, like my uncles and Connie, they'd be texting me, but I don't talk to them anymore. I feel completely disrespected. They've gone on social media saying that blood's thicker than whatever, and that's a direct dig at me and my mom. And if you don't see me as Steven's daughter, that's cool. That's, like, take it how you want. That I know for a fact that's never how he saw it, and it's literally just hurtful. I've seen Connie, like, I saw Connie for, like, a birthday lunch, and Cameron's seen my siblings a couple times. We've gone brunch with him, and he plays video games with my brother. I know that. I hear them sometimes. But then D, the other brother, they've gone ice cream together. But once again, these are things, like, that I've slowly started to remove myself from because they don't make me feel comfortable. And my mom's the one making the effort and feeling like it's a need and a necessity to see them because she cares. That's, like, I don't know. Everyone's pushing for this narrative that my mom's not trying, or the kids are being withheld from Steven's family. No. No. I've literally seen them more than when Steven was alive. But when I did see them, when Steven was around, like, it was cool. We were a family, like, but it was like we lived in different states. We saw each other for big events, like birthdays and family reunions, gatherings, like, stuff like that. And it was, but, like, now looking back on it, like, it just seems like, I don't know, everyone's making things such a bigger deal than it actually is, and I just don't like that the narrative is that my mom's a bad person for things that she's actively trying on, but yet they refuse to speak about it. So, what's the point in that? Because I know that they don't see me, but that's my choice. My mom's literally pushing for the kids to be able to see them whenever they can, but you guys lie about it. So, like, I don't get it. Also, with another thing, just going back, I've gotten a lot of hate comments because this is me, just a personal thing, but, like, I don't have a perm. I I just was like, I'm sick and tired. Like, I literally, guys, I'm gonna take it as a compliment, but I don't. That's all. But, because also, Mom, you can get mad at me, but I need everybody to go and look up when she was on Dancing with the Stars, or not Dancing with the Stars, So You Think You Can Dance, and she had curly hair. Now this girl, she gets Brazilian blowouts, so her hair's straight, because also you have to understand, we were born in Utah. Like, they don't know how to take care of curly hair there, right? So over COVID, when I got all my hair cut off, then it started being healthier because it was fried. But I don't want those hate comments. I'm sorry. Like, dog somebody else for it. But please, I'm sick and tired. I think that's what most of my comments are, actually. But I'm sick of it. That's it. I'm sick and tired. But I don't know. Like, what else is there to speak about? I'm thinking. Because with the influx of comments that I'm getting, y'all make me mad. Y'all make me so mad. What else? I can talk about the NDAs, because that's a big, y'all love to argue over that. Y'all love to argue about the NDAs. Basically, not backstory, because, like, that's what the whole story is, but in one day, we had an open casket, like, viewing for Steven. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake. And my mom asked for NDAs to be signed when we were seeing Steven's body, because God forbid somebody that went to that took a photo of Steven and put it on the internet, or, you know, shared it with somebody else. That's the type of things that NDAs are for. It's not so you can never talk about Steven, you can't ever talk about, you know, you grieving him, you can't post about it. That's not what it is. And for all the people saying it, I just feel like you're uneducated. I'm sorry, but, like, truly, I'm fed up, because NDAs are so important. And if you guys don't agree, that's cool. I'm grateful for my mom making sure that everybody signed NDAs, and she put up that rule. But also, regardless, some people didn't even sign the NDAs, and my mom was lenient because she understands at the end of the day, like, this is family. So y'all want to disrespect her, and she's still nice, she's still kind, she's still forgiving. But you have to know, like, even when Steven was alive, people that attended our events, they would have to sign NDAs. But now, just because it's my mom handing the paper, y'all, like, it's different. You know? And it's just annoying. It's just annoying. Like, for that whole day was supposed to be beautiful. And instead, it was less than that. Like, we were gonna say our goodbyes, and instead people were yelling at each other and bashing my mom, and, like, that's a day that's taken away from her, and she can't remember it as being the day that we all wanted it to be, because his family was making it otherwise. And, like, when I say that this day, like, it's imprinted onto my brain, like, one, because I had to say goodbye to the person that I loved and valued, but then on top of that, I'm having to deal with seeing my mom go through so much. Like, it's a different type of hurt, because these are people that we're supposed to love and value, and yet they're constantly doing things that make me see them as, like, less. Like, they're the ones impacting that image, but they're also the ones taking onto social media. So I just don't get it, because my mom's been respectful, my mom's kept her P's and Q's, and I'm just not. This is, like, built up of 2 years worth of stuff. And, like, oh my gosh. Literally, oh my gosh. I just can't. But with that whole NDA stuff, y'all can see it however you want to, but I just think it's beyond unnecessary, because an NDA is required. It's a necessity. And it's important, because it's just, a day like that is so vulnerable. It's so sentimental. And if you guys can't put yourself in the shoes to be somebody that's responsible for not making sure that something like a photo of Steven or those emotional conversations don't get leaked, you just have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like, I just think that's important. And because this is all through a screen, like, I just feel like people aren't doing that. And, you know, it's beyond me. But who knows? I've also got comments because, how do I explain this? Connie and my mom, very cordial. I don't know. I get that she's always gonna side with her sons and stuff, but she's very nice to my mom. My mom is very nice to her. Like I said, they were talking weekly. My mom sends photos of the kids and what we're doing, and I mean, like, it's just so, like, confusing because she just, like, doesn't say when things are lies that are on her page, you know, and instead she'll, like, be hearting things or stuff like that, which is like, okay. But, like, a big thing is, like, people claiming, or I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting comments being like, your mom didn't let Connie see the body for 3 weeks and something like that. But it's like, everybody who wanted to see the body had access to that information. My mom didn't want to. My mom, she stayed out of that. My mom didn't want anything to do because that's a traumatizing thing. And so somebody else had that information to go and see Steven's body from after he died until he was, like, you know, like, they fixed up how he looked and stuff. But until that point, I remember, like, conversations being had of, like, Connie asking about it, but then everybody, literally everybody, being, like, advising against it because that's your son, you might not want to go see him. But with that all being said, she could have completely on her own terms gone and seen him. My mom wasn't withholding information. That's like, but she's not going to speak out against it. So I don't know. Also, going back to everybody that's, like, trying to get a headline right now, I guess it's hurtful because y'all were considered Steven's friends, and I'm not trying to be too direct because it's literally a whole conglomerate of people, but I mean, all the posts and stuff and all the, like, the long captions and whatever, like, as his kid, I'm seeing this, like, y'all are throwing direct blows at my mom and trying to make it seem like their relationship was something that it's not. But at the same time, like, you can call yourself Steven's friend, I guess. But if you knew Steven and my mom's relationship, like, you think that would be okay with him? I don't know. Like, I don't know. A lot of these people are on their high horse, and I genuinely, like, oh my gosh. Literally, like, this is what you guys don't understand, is my mom is so nice when it comes to this social media stuff. Me personally, I'm on a live. I'm talking about it. Like, I'm so annoyed. And, like, you guys can call yourself Steven's friends or say that you were in his life to whatever degree. Me and my mom, we lived with him. We saw him every day. And a lot of these people speaking out now weren't even around. Barely. I don't even really remember you. I can't put a name to a face, but I know your name. Like, that's the type of separation we had. Like, that's how not around you were. And I don't know. It's just so, like, all these people, for what? But it's just, I don't know. Because also, at one point in my life, a lot of these people speaking out, I'd be like, oh, like, that's my uncle, that's my aunt. Now, I don't care. Like, you're weird. Like, I don't speak to any of them anymore. And it's just disappointing, honestly, because for them to be like, oh, one, my mom gets called a murderer. They say that she's money hungry. They say that she needs more fame. My mom doesn't, like, that's not how my mom is. I trust me when I say my mom is good. Like, she doesn't need that. And it's just disappointing because the people that Steven was truly closest to, the people he held in regards to being his best friends, we talk to every week. The holidays just happened. I've seen all the people that I care about and need to see. So if you weren't seen, it's probably because you're, like, in some ways, like, you don't deserve to have us around. And my mom's made her efforts. She's tried for as long as she could. But this is the kind of turning point where it's like, this stops. Like, it's beyond just, like, trying to maintain a relationship now. It's like, y'all burn bridges. And, literally, it's okay. What else? I think right now, everyone's bashing my mom for, also, my mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that. Never said that he was an addict. But if y'all want to take a headline for a news article and turn that into being the thing that you're paying attention to most, that's literally on you, right? But in our house, how he ran things, like, I'm his kid. He was trying to, like, teach me and educate, like, obviously, like, be that fatherly role, right? So he'd be open and vulnerable about him smoking weed. Also, my mom's not calling him a terrible person for smoking weed. Like, guys, let's get it together. But when you have 2 years after somebody committed suicide to sit here and question every interaction you had, every single thing they did, obviously my mom's like, maybe I should have paid more attention to him smoking a lot of weed. Maybe that was a sign. That's not my mom saying that he's a terrible person. And if people if they're gonna stop being fans of him over my mom saying that he smoked weed, you weren't a fan. Like, that's all. My mom, like, she's not like, oh my gosh, he's awful, he smoked weed. That's not the narrative. That's not what my mom said. And I don't know. Guys, like, oh my gosh. Like, these were open conversations, but, like, Steven was so ashamed about how much he smoked weed, where he would go and, like, smoke weed behind our pool house. Like, but he would talk about it. So it wasn't something that was, like, a red flag at that time. And even, like, him going on an ayahuasca, is that how you say it? Ayahuasca? I don't know. But I know that it was a big deal to him because it brought up a lot for him. And I think also another thing that's a big part of Steven's story, and I don't even know if my mom touches on it in her book. Like, I briefly talked to my mom about the book, but I don't know everything, and I haven't read it yet. But a big part of Steven's story that a lot of people don't know is Steven's stepdad committed suicide. And that's something that stayed with him his entire life. He would talk about how much it impacted him. And I think it was hurtful when he left, because now I'm in the same position that he was in. And my mom and Connie alike, they're widows from suicide. And I just think a little bit of love and grace goes a long way. I know my mom says it, but, like, that's a big thing. And that's, like, a childhood trauma that, take it from me, like, the person that's in the same situation that Steven was in, it's a big deal. And I have so much empathy for him because of it, but, like, I'm realizing how much he went through and how much, like, it's important to reach out and get your resources and go to therapy. And for years, Steven was doing that, and I don't know really, like, how healed he was in his own journey, but, like, that's a big deal. And, like, I don't know, suicide's a whole it's unfortunate. Like, it sucks. But I mean, also, I just feel like all of this drama is unnecessary because, frankly, at the end of the day, regardless of what's tit for tat back and forth, we're never going to get Steven back. He made a choice, and that's really unfortunate. and like I'm gonna think about it for the rest of my life, but he committed suicide, and that's something we're never gonna be able to bring him back. And to just not, for people to be so disrespectful after his passing, it's like, how do you maintain like the balance of loving somebody and then also like trying to move forward and like be peaceful? Like, it's like how you guys see everything isn't what it actually is. And while I'm talking about people, actually, there's this one person I really don't like, and his name's Nelson Diaz. But I just want to let everybody know the type of people that are on Steven's family's side. Like, Nelson, I know you were getting sued for you were getting sued. It was a lawsuit by Steven. Like, Nelson used to be Steven's and my mom's manager. And, like, literally, the lawsuit never ended. You are getting sued. And yet, you have such a big mouth on social media, and you're getting out of your lane. Like, you are. And a lot of people are. And to be a kid that's such an observer, who was always around, who literally, like, I looked up to Steven. I was his, like, little sidekick. I listen to everything. I pay attention to everything, and I get that I'm just a kid. Y'all can take that and call me childish or immature in whatever degree you want. But I'm also just, like, I've always been around. I pay attention to everything. I have my own opinions about everything. Literally, none of this is navigated by my mom. I've always been raised to be, like, independent. And so when I'm saying that I don't like somebody, I'm saying that I actually don't like you because of the things that you've done to me. So, take that as you want. But, I don't know. I've lost a lot of respect for people. And I think that, I don't know. I try to be peaceful. But I know at the end of the day I'm not. But, what else is there? Like, I feel like there's, I feel like that's a lot of things that get talked about mostly, because I'm not trying to start any fires. I'm not trying to put out more information that there needs to be. But for simply the stuff that keeps going in circles and people keep arguing about and that are literally headlines right now, like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. And I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like, literally, on top of losing the person I valued most in my life, I have to sit back and for the rest of my life be known to, how do I explain this? Like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not a person to sit up here and cry. I'm not one to be here and get emotional. But, like, y'all could not just leave somebody passing away and leave the family alone. Like, oh my gosh, you guys just have to add to it. For what? Like, I don't know. And it's disappointing because, like, if all of you say that you held Steven in such a high regard, like, this is not the type of family dynamic we had. And whatever y'all want to push on social media, like, I'm gonna grow up seeing it. Like, my siblings are gonna grow up seeing it. And also, they're gonna have to form their own opinion of who their dad was. And we only speak about him in such a beautiful light. I loved him. I have nothing negative to say about him besides I think that he made a unfortunate decision. And, like, it's unexplainable, like, but I wouldn't want to do that to my siblings. I wouldn't want to let people sit up here and talk about them. Or talk about their dad. Because, bruh, I'm not about to sit here and cry, but don't even play. Because if I cry, I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. But here's the thing. My siblings, they're strong kids. And my mom's raising them to be so strong. Like, I'm already my own person, but I've been this way. They're growing up with one parent. And to see that one parent get torn down, it's crazy. I don't get it because my mom is all we have. We have other family, we have other people we can go to, but through this, my mom's been our rock. So just know that that's the type of person you're tearing down, who's been peaceful, who's kept things off of social media. And I don't know. I'm a very protective person at heart. The people I hold close to me, like you're close to me. My siblings, that's not a joke. And my brother's getting to the age where he's able to realize things. He's a smart kid. He's going to end up making these choices for himself. And I just don't want, social media battles to infringe on how they see their dad or how they see their mom. Because, I get that I'm not being attacked at the situation, I'm the kid, whatever, but they need their mom, and they already lost one parent. They can't lose another one, and I'm not gonna cry, I'm not, but my mom's tried her best, and if y'all don't get that, that's on you, because she's made all the effort she could to make sure that Steven was held in a high regard, and articles are coming out now. She has a book coming out, but that's not to ever bash who Steven was. It's literally my mom telling her story, and her story is also still gonna continue. Nobody's gonna stop that, and it's for the sake of also, here's the thing that you guys don't understand. For 2 years, Mama was getting bashed because she's not sitting up here and crying. We don't think that she loves Steven. She's evil. That's the type of things that you guys are saying. And now that she's opening up more and still being very cautious of what she says and still very respectful and being the kind widow, she's trying her best. And that's not a lot of things that other people would be able to do. She lost her person, and it's just disappointing to see people's reaction to her actually speaking out about her story, that it still holds Steven in such a high regard, even though he's the person that left, right? And I don't mean this to be I don't know, but we have one parent. They have one parent. And I know that I have a biological dad, but once again, my relationship with Steven is irreplaceable. And that's just how I see it. And I don't know, because I've tried my best to delete comments and not respond, but it led me to be on a live, so guys. But I think that's it. I don't know how much more there is for me to say, because I'm not gonna sit here and go in circles about people that should honestly just be irrelevant in our lives. But I think the disrespect is getting to a point, and whoever wants to clip this and send it to them, you got it. You go, girl. I don't care. Everything that I've said here, obviously I'm saying it to the public, and that's it. That's my thoughts on them. His family, that's my thoughts on everything that's happening. That's my thoughts on the NDAs. And it's just what it is, because this is my reality, and y'all are seeing it on a screen. And that's unfortunate that you feel like you can put your input in. But to each their own. But I think that's it.
Order your natural soaps and body oils, natural detox, CBD sticks and pre-rolls, vapes, hair and skincare products. 20% off at nightanddaynetwork.com.